Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Revisited, where we take a look at previously released pieces of content within the world of Grand Theft Auto Online, and with the use of up-to-date knowledge from the community as well as personal experience, I aim to make a much more comprehensive guide video than back when the thing was released. And the thing in question that we're going to be taking another look at is the B11 Strikeforce. Released as part of the After Hours DLC, the B11 is a fighter jet which managed to somehow both receive praise from the community as well as overwhelmingly negative reception. It's a very rare thing indeed. The reason because of this is because the plane as a whole is really good and competitive with a wide variety of features and specs, making it one of the best fighter planes in the game, but at the same time, fighter jet fanatics who happen to know a little something about the plane that the B11 Strikeforce is based upon were very understandably annoyed when they found that the main gun of the aircraft, the thing that the aircraft was literally designed around, featured a much slower rate of fire than what it really should be, despite it also having a sound effect when you fire the gun, giving the impression of the intended rate of fire. But before we get to that, let's not get ahead of ourselves. To begin, the plane will cost you $3.8 million, which, adjusted with the extra cost of upgrades and everything, it'll cost you about $4.1 million. The plane's handling is exceptionally good, making it one of the best dogfighters in the game, if not the best. Its handling is so good that it left players even more confused because in real life, the A10 Warthog, the thing that this is based off, is not intended to be a dogfighter. It's intended solely to be an air-to-ground machine. Now, I'm not a jet fighter fanatic myself, but from what I know from my limited knowledge of the real thing, the jet has one job and it does it very well, making everything that it points the main gun at, which is usually cars, tanks and buildings, into Swiss cheese. Regardless, Rockstar Games have decided to make the jet into a very high-tier competitive dogfighter, comparable to that of the Laser and the Hydra with a few extra tricks. It can avoid even the most tracking of tracker missiles by simply flying in a horizontal circle while at maze bank altitude or higher. It can also do a pretty good job of avoiding missiles while at low altitude, to a lesser extent albeit, though most of the time if you find yourself being tied down by an Oppressor Mark II missile combo, you'll either have to wait it out until it runs out of ammo, or you can set off a flare or do a counterattack because this thing only just evades Mark II missiles.
Oh, yep. He's still alive. Yep. Gotta come down and finish the job.
The weapons and gadgets that the thing has on board is also very equipped. Sure, we have the main gun, but it also comes with barrage rockets, homing rockets, bombs, defenses, the kitchen sink, your mom. This thing has everything that one can ask for in a jet, and yes, while it has been made into one of the best dogfighters in the game, it also retains some of the jet's intended purpose, being a competent air-to-ground fighter. The questionable maximum range, slow rate of fire, and low foot personnel damage of the main gun make it pretty useless to take out foot personnel, at least without having to make multiple runs. Or you just get really lucky and manage to hit them numerous times on one run. But against vehicles, it'll definitely do the job. For most things, you'll be wanting to make use of the barrage missiles in combination with the bombs and the main gun to make sure that what's on the ground is no longer on the ground and is instead being sent to hell. But if shooting at your target isn't really for you, then the thing also has bombs. Now, I'm not really a bombing fanatic myself, so I called in some buddies of mine who love to bomb in this thing, and they very clearly showed just how good these things are in the right hands, giving me plenty of blowing, because my sniper rifle wasn't explosive at the time and I didn't really feel like fighting back, and my spleen was acting up. Just shut up. Anyways, yeah, this thing gives you lots of choice when it comes to air-to-ground combat. The main gun's explosive nature, even with its slow rate of fire, is more suitable for air-to-air combat. It's the same as the Laser and the Hydra, albeit to a lesser extent. Get behind someone and a quick burst of the gun will more than likely make light work of their controls, and while they're spinning around because they can't control their plane, simply finish them off for the kill if they haven't already jumped out. Speaking of damage and armor, it's actually pretty good in this thing. Let's take a look.
Also check these 7. Never mind 5.
Not only that, this plane is also pretty darn resilient to exploding from collision damage, being very forgiving for those who may accidentally hit the ground on an overly ambitious air-to-ground strike. So far, the B11 Strikeforce seems to be a pretty good deal for what you're paying. But wait, there's more! It's come to my attention as of recently that there's a way that you can boost the speed of the Strikeforce and gain a slight speed boost when flying above Maze Bank altitude. It's a bit of a pain to set up, I must say. It's not something that you can just do on the fly. It's quite the contrary, and the speed difference that it gives you isn't really that much. Okay, so what you'll want to do to prepare for this is to have the B11 Strikeforce in a hangar, parked ready for you to use. Then what you'll want to do is set your starting spawn as the hangar itself. Now what you'll want to do is reboot the entire game. Yep, reboot the game. Load up GTA Online again and make the B11 Strikeforce the first thing that you get inside. Congratulations, you now have an upgraded B11 Strikeforce. There's a few caveats though. Once you get in anything else but the B11 Strikeforce, it's not going to be glitched anymore and it'll revert back to its normal speed. Furthermore, it's only going to work for the first lobby that you join. Anything after this and the glitch will go away and you'll have to do the aforementioned steps all over again. Personally, I don't really think it's going to be worth the tiny little extra speed you'll gain from doing all of this. Even if the speed gain was pretty darn substantial, I think going through the effort of rebooting the game every time you'll want to set the speed dial to 10.1, it's not really going to be worth it in my opinion. Overall, the B11 Strikeforce, it's a plane loved by the community, for the wrong reasons, but they still love it nonetheless, except for the people who are die-hard fans of the A10 Warthog in real life, and they still can't get over how the sound effect implies that the main gun fires at a devastatingly fast fire rate, whereas in reality it's actually more like a Browning 50. Oh well. Me personally, I've always had good vibes with the jet. It's fun to spar with people in the sky with it, with its fast-turning circle and wide range of viable weapons that you can use during a dogfight, and it can be even more fun if you get the chance to use it for air-to-ground scenarios. It's a fun plane to use that only gets more fun with use. But hey, let me know what you guys think about the thing in the comments. Do you own a Strikeforce? Are you an expert at using the thing? You reckon you could beat me in a dogfight? Ha! Let us know in the comments, and hey, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to and I thank you very much for watching.